I have to say we were pretty excited in August of 1990 as we headed down to the Port of Miami. We were driving down what I call Cruise Ship Row, where all the ships are lined up for you to see as you're heading in to build even more excitement getting on. We were going to be getting on, embarking on the Sovereign of the Seas, which at that time was 2 years old, which is brand new in my book. We went through the usual check-in process, everybody standing in line waiting, trying to get through in the hot, humid air. And there, as you see, there was no alcohol restriction on what you could take on board. So we set up our own private bar in our room for a good time of the week in the Caribbean. The ship was absolutely massive and beautiful.
Have your attention, please. This announcement is directed to all Air & Sea passengers. We appreciate your concern for your luggage. However, the baggage distribution is a lengthy process, and we would further appreciate your patience as we attempt to get all your bags to you. At this time, though, we do have several bags or 7.
Hello.
From Eastern Flight 147, we have a black garment bag.
There he is. Okay, well, I have other places to go.
And your crane check number 06.
You guys gonna come up?
Then we'll bet to it. You want your bets together?
Who, me?
No.
No, you don't want it.
I don't. Not particularly. I'm in 2070.
I'd like one.
76.
Oh, wait a minute. Greg, I signed you up.
I know. Hello.
European
Back then we had the mandatory lifeboat drill, so everybody grabbed their life vests out of the rooms and we all went up to the Viking Crown Lounge to sit and wait. Needless to say, we decided to have a few cocktails while we're sitting there overlooking the Port of Miami and the magnificent ship that we were on. Truly, we were totally amazed by it. They finally called us for the drill and we went out on the hot deck and we all stood around sweating like crazy in the humid conditions waiting for this thing to end, which really nobody was paying attention to. But that was all part of the drill back then. As you can see, we had our own blender going and it made some great pina coladas and saved us some money. So this is off the back of the ship as we were just getting ready to sail out of the Port of Miami, heading down towards the Caribbean waters. This is a view of the Viking Crown Lounge from the rear of the ship, and it was absolutely huge. As we sailed out of the port here, we looked at the ships that would be over on our right or on our starboard side, and there was the SS Norway. The SS Norway I'd sailed on about 4 years prior. At that time, it was the largest cruise ship in the world. And then Sovereign of the Seas was being built, and when it came out, it took that title. It was by far the largest when you compared the two. Everybody was having a great time and ready for a great week on this beautiful ship. A lot of us spent some time out doing a little bit of shuffleboard on the stern of the ship, and makes for an enjoyable day and a great excuse to drink some beer and talk some crazy stuff. So let's take a little tour of the ship. This is the Champagne Bar. It's located on Deck 7. And I have to say, having been on a number of cruise ships, this was really spectacular. Beautiful decor, laid out so well, and like I said, we were on pretty much a brand new ship. Next was the Centrum. This is something none of us had ever seen. Having been on 4 prior cruises, this was a brand new design in the cruise industry, which would be imitated by all the rest of the line in years to come. The glass elevators just kind of blew us away. I mean, they were absolutely something to see, and something that you would not see on any other cruise ships. This was a ship's library. On any of the other ships, I'd never seen any libraries, and this was also another first for me, as there would be many. As I walked through here and perused the area, again, just gorgeous. Nice leather seats to sit and relax and read your books or just socialize with some of the other people in there. Next was Finnan's Rainbow Lounge up there on deck 7. Another great lounge to relax in, laid out very well, very pleasing to the eye. We spent many nights up there, and actually this is where we hosted a party from our travel agent. Next was the Folly Showroom. Walked inside and took a look and could not believe how elegant this was. Just beautiful designs with fabulous colors that were kind of a thing during the day back then. You see now there's more muted tones on them, but this was totally state-of-the-art back in 1990. Out here we had the Promenade Deck. Real wide areas that gave you plenty of space to walk no matter how many people were out there. The lifeboats were located above us, and hopefully we wouldn't have to be using any of those, and we didn't. But this deck was just gorgeous, and you could walk around the ship and enjoy the beautiful views, especially when you were entering the ports of calls like we were here. Next was Schooners Bar, located on deck 5. Obviously a mariner theme to it, with model boats that they had encased in glass, ropes hanging down from where the sails were, and just a really cozy, neat area to come up and have a drink at. We spent some time there also. They had a piano going, so you were entertained in the evenings. Fabulous place. Next, you see the Casino Royale on deck 5. This is absolutely a huge casino. It wasn't in operation at this time because we were in port, but it handled all the people on this ship. And then there's the duty-free shops on the Centrum, deck 5. Had everything that you might want to buy, and there was a lot of shops there. And that's in the background is that famous giant clock that we never forgot about. It was a centerpiece of the Centrum, and it was amazing that whoever had come up with that idea. And this is a quick shot of the Kismet dining room where we were sitting down for a quick lunch. And again, very beautiful, and we had absolutely great service from the staff on this ship, which I still actually remember quite well. And here's your cruise compass. If you want to take a minute to stop and peruse it, it's pretty interesting. We looked forward to having that thing delivered under our door each night to see what fun we were going to have the next day on this ship and where we were going to be. In every level next to the elevator banks, you had your map here laid out. Nothing electronic back then. You just looked at the model here, and it told you where you needed to go on the ship to get where you wanted to be and where you were actually standing at that particular time. Very informative and worked very good. I gotta say, the electronic versions are kind of nice right now, but this one sure did the job. Here is the Music Man Lounge. Most of the time they had the second kind of acts going where you had singers, magicians, things like that weren't really rated for the giant showroom, and a great place to come back in the evenings and sit and relax and watch the entertainment. Very enjoyable. This is some of the artwork that they had displayed. A massive, massive painting that hung for several floors. Very interesting to see. The Anything Goes Disco, this is a place you could really go in and light it up. Very cozy, and it was packed pretty much every single night that we went in there. So you could dance in here till the wee hours of the morning when it finally closed, I believe around 3 a.m. Although I don't think I was ever up that late, but I was a lot younger back then. Really enjoyed it. There's some more of the artwork. It was all over the ship. It was a fitness center. This was really novel to us in that the other ships had really small gyms. I mean, there really wasn't much for a workout. This one, they kicked it up a notch. Royal Caribbean, they put in a massive fitness center with all kinds of equipment, free weights, cardio, you name it, it pretty much had it. And you had a beautiful view while you were working out also. Back out here again, that was the shuffleboard area on the stern of the ship. And then up above was the sports deck up on deck 11 here. Played basketball out here or whatever. And then this is a nice look at the Viking Crown Lounge, which Royal Caribbean, that was their signature piece back in the day. And it was actually trademarked, as I understood, where none of the other cruise lines could copy it. When they sold off the Song of America, they were going to make the buyers take off the Crown Lounge, but apparently they negotiated a deal not to do it. But the other ships they got rid of, they did have to take off the Crown Lounge. It overlooked the center pool there, and a real nice view of what was happening down below. Or if you were at sea, you just sit out there and watch the ocean go by. This is the main pool area out there. There seemed to be, as I recall, plenty of room for everybody. I don't know what's going on now with the ships are bigger, but the pool isn't much bigger. Trying to get a lounge chair out there, risking your life just trying to reserve one. But this one, there was plenty of space for the number of people that were on the ship. We loved it when the calypso bands would be out here playing and people dancing around the pool. Some good times back then. Here's a quick shot of the Windjammer buffet, which was up on deck 11. You could see, I mean, it was really a beautiful layout here. Totally different than what we have nowadays. But again, very, very enjoyable and did the job. And we went downstairs here to see the cinemas. Now this is something you don't see anymore, but on this ship there was not one but 2 cinemas, and they were running first run movies on here. And people did come down and take advantage of it. That was cinema number 1, and if you walked over to the other side, you had cinema number 2, which would be running a different movie at the same time as number 1 was. So if you love movies, this was the place to come down and watch them. Here we are back in our hallway, and me mixing up some more drinks in the blender here. We mixed up drinks for anybody that'd be happen to walk by. So I hope you enjoyed this tour of the Sovereign of the Seas and a little bit of nostalgia as you go back 35 years ago. The wonderful time, and thanks for watching Pat's Adventures. Really appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe, and you take care.